Hey guys, welcome back. Earth Twister here, and we're continuing our campaign playthrough with Nick Fury. And real quick, before we get set up, I was just going to go over a few things that I changed in the deck again. So, of course, we had all of these cards here. I had put in Brains over Brawn, and then I had taken a couple of informants, and I have ended up removing all of the informants. And then I've put in 2 copies of Intelligence, 2 copies of Under Surveillance, 2 copies of Practice Plan, 2 copies of Prism Dust, and 2 copies of Global Logistics. And then I have gone in and added a couple of other cards, like a couple of copies of Counterintelligence. And what else did we add? Maybe it. Let me look through here real quick. I also added a couple of other, target acquired. I added those as well to help reduce boost abilities. So those are a few of the cards that I added, and I think the rest is pretty much the same because I feel like it worked pretty well. I took out the Brains over Brawn, the Breaking and Entering are in there, so everything should look pretty good now. Let's go ahead and make sure we get everything shuffled up, and we can look at those things here in a minute. So let's take a look here and see what we're supposed to do for M.O.D.O.K. So if you want to read the comic, I don't know if I left that up for you for M.O.D.O.K, but you can feel free to read this one here for M.O.D.O.K. I just flipped the page because I don't remember if I read the M.O.D.O.K comic either. So go ahead, and if you want to pause the video, feel free to pause it, and then we'll move on. Okay, so we have extracted the captives being held at the AIM Island Embassy, but Sarah Garza was not among them. Evidence you collected indicates that Garza and several other civilians, all of whom have inhuman genes, have been shipped to AIM Island to be used as genetic templates to create superpowered synthetic copies called adaptoids. Leading the research is the mental organism designed only for killing, aka M.O.D.O.K. You also discovered evidence that a member of the executive board is involved in the plot, but you're unsure which one. You decide to launch a covert rescue mission to AIM Island without permission from the board. You're open without a net here. All right, so the villain deck, of course, is M.O.D.O.K. We're playing an expert, so it is going to be side B. The main scheme, of course, is upgrading adaptoids. And then the encounter deck is going to be M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme, and Standard encounter sets with Expert. And then the Scientist Supreme set can be removed from the scenario and or added to other scenarios when using the scenario customization rules. All right, so the holding cell deck. During setup, players are instructed to create the holding cell deck. To do this, shuffle the 4 double-sided holding cell cards, each with an inhuman ally on the back. So we got these 4 right here. Place this deck near the main scheme with its holding cell side face up. The top card of the deck is in play. So let's go ahead and shuffle these up. All right. We'll put these right here. So let's make sure we get where we can see everything. Of course, my recording space changes every time because I can't just leave the camera hooked up because it is my phone. So there we go. Holding cells in play. Then when holding cell enters play, either during setup or when the last lock counter is removed from the previous top card of the holding cell deck, the text on the holding cell places 2 lock counters on that card. Okay, 2 per player lock counter. So this comes in with 2 lock counters. All right. The objective of this scenario is to free all 4 of the inhuman allies from their holding cells by removing the lock counters from each holding cell environment and then to reduce M.O.D.O.K's hit points to 0. Lock counters can be removed via the hero action on the holding cells by reducing M.O.D.O.K's hit points to 0 or by the effects of the various encounter cards. Okay. So then we create the holding cell deck, which we've done. Put 1 random adaptoid environment into play. So we take these 4, shuffle them up, and then set the others aside. And then each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of the adaptoid and reveals it. So there we go. We've got the Sarah Garza upgrade. So we'll set these aside over here. And we get Adaptoid to gain the elite trait and +1 on its attack. Okay, so then we shuffle the rest of this up. We place 3 additional lock counters on the top of the holding cell deck. Then we remove X lock counters from the card, where X is the number of rescued captives in play, recorded in the campaign log. Okay, so let me shuffle this up, and then we'll finish up with setup. All right, so now we put 3 additional lock counters on the top of the holding cell deck. Then we remove X lock counters per player from the hand, where X is the number of rescued captives in play. Rescued captives was 4, so we remove 4. So it brings it down to 1. Then we put the 3 board member environments in play. Place secret counters on each board member environment equal to the number of secret counters recorded for that environment scenario 2, which was 0, so we don't put any on them. Then we shuffle the 3 copies of the aim interference obligation in the encounter deck, which we've done. And then after resolving mulligans, resolve the setup ability on each card. Player hit points, we were at 4 from the last one. And then we can put a counter. So let's go ahead. I'm going to shuffle up the player deck. I'll do a quick cut just like I did for shuffling this. And we'll be ready here in just a minute. There we go. Then we'll draw our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure that this is up. Comes in with 1 threat. All right. We start with eye patch camera, Agent Coulson, field agent, breaking and entering, covert surveillance, and safe house. I think what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and mulligan covert surveillance. I'm going to do eye patch camera because we can pull it in with Agent Coulson, and then probably breaking and entering because there's only 1 threat here. So I'm not too worried about that. These other 3 cards are going to be helpful. We get a practice plan, prism dust, and a global logistics. So not ideal necessarily, but it is definitely something to start with. So blackmail. I can put a secret counter to a board member environment to search their collection for a different justice upgrade, so I don't need to do that. And then I may add a threat, so we're going to add a threat to the main scheme, so that puts it at 2. And I can pull a justice upgrade and add it to my hand. So let's go ahead. Let's get ourselves Heroic Intuition. Add that to our hand. Okay. And then I can also add a secret counter on a board member. So I'm going to do on Chief Surveillance Officer there to heal myself up to heal myself 4. So I'm going to go up to 8. And then M.O.D.O.K is at 14 there. And I think we are ready to go. All right. So of course, we start with this. I'm going to use Global Logistics and Prism Dust to be 2 resources for Heroic Intuition. And then, honestly, I'm going to do Practice Plan as a preparation out there. And then Field Agent is going to be a resource to pay for Safe House. Safe House is going to go ahead and place a threat on my suit form upgrade. Actually, no, we'll use it to heal the rest of the health up. I think that's going to be a better move here. So we go up to 10. I'm going to switch into stealth suit form and flip up and thwart for 3 off of the main. And I get to put that one of them on my stealth suit form, which is great because that means M.O.D.O.K schemes will get to get 1, and we'll just hope that this turns out well. Okay. Drop to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready. Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 4, 5. This card gains one icon for each aim minion in the victory display. So there are no aim minions in the victory display. So he just schemes for 5. So he would scheme for 5, but I get to take 1 because I'm in stealth suit form. So that goes up to 5 there. I get 1 here. The Adaptoid schemes for 1, but I get to take it. And then we get an encounter card, which is the Aim Jailer. All right. Okay, so we're getting several minions here. And not really a good way to pay for stuff in my hand. Okay, so man, I can thwart for 3 and bring Coulson in and then thwart for 2 with him. I think I'll do that. So I'll thwart for 3 and I'll get 1 on my suit form upgrade. And then I'm going to use these as 3 resources to pay for Agent Coulson to come in. Am I supposed to have the rescued allies in play? It doesn't say, so I don't know why. Maybe. So we get a lock counter here, so I forgot to do that. But yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Interesting. So then, yeah, of course, Coulson is going to thwart for 2 after he pulls intelligence analysis, which I'll go ahead and put straight into play. All right, so then Coulson thwarts for 2, bringing that all the way down. I wish I had a way to spend my threat right now, but I don't. I could attack, but I've already done my thing. So we keep Secret Agent in hand. Coulson, of course, takes a consequential. And we go up to villain phase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 4. So he schemes for 4. I get to keep 1. So he schemes for gets 3 there. I get 1. So I'm at 5 now. And then this says place 1 secret counter on each board member. I may spend an insights 1. No, this is just the one revealed. So go ahead and put 1 on each board member there. Okay. And then he schemes for 1, and he schemes for 0. That's fine. Okay. Then, of course, I need to do an encounter card, which is a treachery. It's advanced, so I can trigger intelligence, intelligence analysis. When I reveal a treachery, discard intelligence analysis and remove 1 threat from your suit form upgrade. Cancel the effects of that treachery and discard it. So M.O.D.O.K does not scheme, and I'm going to trigger practice plan to bring intelligence analysis back to my hand. Perfect. So I'm really wishing that I'd gotten eye patch camera, but that's just not the way it's going to work. Getting rid of those guys is going to be helpful. So can I do... That's going to be interesting. Okay. I'm going to use 2 energy resources to pay for concentrated fire. So that flips me into assault suit form. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. We'll do it to the aim jailer. This attack gets ranged. If this attack defeats the enemy, choose to place threat on my suit form upgrade equal to that enemy's printed scheme or change to stealth suit form. So I'm going to go ahead and change back to stealth suit form. Right. Then Do I want to get... Well, I think right now, since I don't have any way to spin the stealth, the threat tokens, I want to get Secret Agent in. So we're going to use these as 2 resources to pay for Secret Agent. And then we'll pay for Intelligence Analysis. I'm going to go ahead and thwart 3 from the scheme, and Coulson will thwart 2. All right, so this is a response and not a forced interrupt, so I don't have to worry about that. So threat goes up by 1 after we drop our hand size. 2, 3, 4, 5. Still not getting the cards I want. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 4, 5. And I get to take 1, so it goes up to 5 again, and I get 1 here. Then the Adaptoid schemes for 1. We get an encounter card, which is a Psionic Blast. Either I take X indirect damage, where X is equal to M.O.D.O.K's scheme, and confuse each character that takes this damage this way, or I can just Intelligence Analysis it away, which I will do, which with Secret Agent, since I triggered a preparation card, I can remove a threat and put it on my suit form upgrade. Much better. All right, so then we have Spray Fire. That gains range, so that's good, and Covert Surveillance, which means I will get attacked next turn. Counterintelligence is such a good card too. Spray Fire will help me defeat the Adaptoid. Yeah, so I'm going to use these as 3 resources to pay for Spray Fire. That flips me to Assault Suit form. And when I attack, which I'm doing, I can remove up to 3 threat here. This attack deals 1 additional damage for each threat removed this way. So now he's doing 6 to each. So that's 6 to the Adaptoid, which defeats him. And then 6 to M.O.D.O.K. He goes from 14 down to 8. All right. We do have Covert Surveillance. That's okay. Its attacks gain overkill in range, but he's been scheming. So I will scheme for 3, and Coulson will scheme for thwart for 2. I do get 1 back on my suit form upgrade, and Coulson gets defeated. I think that's going to be okay, and we just hope that we get what we want. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not necessarily, but we do have a good way to get. We have an ally that we can get in that'll help out. So let's see what happens. So threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 4, 5. Puts that at 6. And I think I've stayed below the 7 threshold. So if I have been wrong, let me know. But I'm just realizing again that it is the 7 threshold there and not just. It may have been because I've been taking the threat. And so I feel like I've been staying there. I think I've been staying below. So we'll just keep going. But let me know in the comments if I messed up. And then we do get an encounter card, which is Exhaustion. So Surge and Exhaust my identity. And then Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support I control. We'll get rid of the safe house here. That was a bad turn. Okay, so I could do Covert Surveillance and get Under Surveillance out, which would be really good. Or I could get Nick's Fury Senior down. Let's go ahead and... I feel like that's the move. We'll pay 4 resources for Nick Fury Senior. And when he does, we're going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. Gives me Sky Destroyer and Target Acquired. So we'll just use that as a resource to pay for Target Acquired. Then Nick Fury Sr. will thwart 2, taking it down to 4, taking a consequential, and then I can't do anything, so we'll ready. I don't know why he schemed last turn. I should have taken damage instead of him scheming. So it would have been 5 damage to me. So let's just say I took 5 damage instead of putting 5 threat on the scheme. So he thwarted for 2, which means that it was at 6. So it would have been, yeah. So we don't have any threat there because he schemed for 5. Threat went up by 1, so it would have been 6. So we removed the 5 from his scheme and then 2 from his thwart. So I think we're good there. Dropped our hand size at 5. Good grief, where is the cards that we want? Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K attacks again for 1. He would have attacked for 3 last turn. Let's go ahead and add 2 back to my health. He'll attack for 1 plus a boost. Nick Fury Sr. will defend. So 1, 2. That does defeat Nick Fury Sr. And we get an encounter card, which is Reverse Engineering. Attached to M.O.D.O.K. When revealed, tuck an upgrade you control under here. Otherwise, tuck the top card of your deck under here. Oh, shoot. After M.O.D.O.K hit points are reset, discard this card. X is equal to the printed cost of the top card. Okay, so we lose Secret Agent to M.O.D.O.K. So now I really need to defeat M.O.D.O.K. I could either... No, I think Heroic Intuition's too good here. All right. So we're going to use 2 resources. Oh, shoot. Play EM Shield and then use these 2. Yeah, okay. So Genius is going to pay for EM Shield. Then we're going to use Covert Surveillance and Intelligence as 2 mental resources to remove a lock counter. I forgot to do something earlier as well, which is annoying, but then we're going to put Practice Plan into play, and I can attack for 5 or thwart for 3. He's going to hit hard either way. I think I'll attack for 5. I take 2 retaliate, and he goes down to 3 hit points. We need to get rid of the reverse engineering. All right. Secret Agent is under there. That's really unfortunate. Okay, so 3, 4, and 5. Now there are cards that I want. Okay. Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K is going to attack for 1, 2, 3, plus a boost. 3, 4. Target acquired is going to cancel this boost. Well, I don't need to because it is it's just piercing, and this doesn't get bothered by piercing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That triggers EM Shield. We discard EM Shield. We'll use Practice Plan to bring that back to my hand. There's so many things that I want to do in my hand right now, so it's kind of crazy, but we'll see. And then we get an encounter card, which is an Adaptoid. Okay. So I will use Intelligence to pay for Fury's Watch. I will thwart 3 and put 1 on my suit form upgrade. Oof. Then these 2 will generate as resources for Fury's Flying Car. Fury's Flying Car is going to ready me. And then I will have no way to get more threat. The Adaptoid is there. I have no way to protect myself. Shoot, I need to flip down. think. When the stage would be completed, put one random set-aside adaptoid environment into play instead. Then if there are no set-aside adapt, otherwise remove all threat from here and shuffle each adaptoid minion from the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Okay. So we don't lose to threading out, we lose to dying. Is that right? We want to get as many of these as we can. They have one card left in hand. I think what we're going to do is flip down. I'll go ahead and flip to stealth suit form. And I readied. So I'm going to heal for 4, bringing me back up to 9. We'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get an extra encounter card. And we shuffle up. M.O.D.O.K is going to break that scheme on his own. So it's 5, 6. Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 5, 6. He schemes for 6. Okay, when the stage would be completed, put one random set-aside adaptoid environment into play. Okay, flying upgrade. So now they gain +1 scheme and gain insight 1 and the aerial trait. So then I guess that gets removed. Okay. Then this guy will scheme for 2. And we get our encounter cards. The first one is Shadows of the Past. So we get Orion in here. We do trigger this to put... I need to spend a mental resource. We use Gemma as the mental to prevent the one going physical. It's physical resources. I'll use a target acquired as a physical resource to prevent the one going there. Okay, now we get Orion into play and his scheme, which is acquire infinity formula. That comes in with 5 threat. Okay. And our second encounter card is Gang Up, which is Surges because I'm an alter ego, to Master Plan, which puts 4 threat on Acquire Infinity Formula. Great. Okay. So basically, no matter what, I need to defeat M.O.D.O.K. Orion comes in with Toughness, and he can have any number of tough cards on him. All right. Those are 2 mentals there. So if I get threat on my guy, that'll be good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and flip up. I'm going to use... Why did I want threat on... Oh. Nick Fury's going to thwart 3 off of Acquire Infinity Formula and get a thing on his stealth suit form. Fury's car is going to ready me, and I'll thwart 3 again. Which does give me another 1 on my stealth suit form. Fury's Watch will generate a mental resource, and Gemma Simmons will be a mental resource to remove the last holding cell token here. When the last lock counter is removed from here, flip this card and put Psionic and Human into play under any player's control. He does not count against my ally limit. After he thwarts, remove 1 lock counter from a holding cell. So this enters play with 2. And then after this card leaves play, flip and place it at the bottom of the holding cell deck. Okay, so we want to keep him in play as long as possible. And after he thwarts. Okay, so that does that. I could have him remove the tough status card, and I wouldn't be able to defeat that guy. Wouldn't be able to defeat anyone. So we're going to have him thwart off of Acquire Infinity formula. He'll take a consequential for that. And we remove a lock counter from there. It may be best to use... Yeah, because I really need to get rid of the Adaptoid. Don't have enough resources. Do I put the M Shield in Prism Dust? There's nobody with guard. I could go ahead and straight up defeat M.O.D.O.K, which would help. So we'll use Strength to pay for Concentrated Fire. That flips me to attack form. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. This attack gets ranged, so I don't take the retaliate. And then place threat on my suit form upgrade equal to the enemy's printed scheme or change to stealth suit form. I think I can handle some attacks coming at me. Maybe. We got a physical and an energy in our hand. So we do 4 damage here. That defeats him there. I don't know if that counts as him being defeated. After M.O.D.O.K's hit points are reset, discard this card. That means that Secret Agent, I think it gets discarded, but let's see. Black Widow, M.O.D.O.K. If M.O.D.O.K is defeated by overkill damage... Okay, no, there's no... Okay, so I'm not considered to have defeated one of them if I reduce their hit points to 0, so I can't do anything with my suit form. That explains that. Okay. But we do get rid of that attachment. And it doesn't say anything, it just says... Let's see what the tuck thing says real quick. I'm going to cut until I find out the rules on that. When you instruct a card... Okay. Yeah. When a card leaves play, any cards tucked under it are discarded. Okay, so this gets discarded. All right. So M.O.D.O.K is good. We do get to remove 2 lock counters from the holding cell, which means we get to bring the strength Inhuman into play. Or the strong Inhuman. He gets a toughness. Does not count against my ally limit. The tough is actually going to be really good here. So we'll go ahead and let them chill. The holding cell here comes into play with 2 lock counters. I'll go ahead and use EM Shield to play Prism Dust. We'll ready and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Threat goes up by 1. I am in assault suit form, so I get attacked by M.O.D.O.K. He's going to attack me for 1, 2, 3, so I take 3 damage. Orion is going to attack for 2. Strong Inhuman will defend it. Adaptoid will attack for 2, and I go down to 4. We get an encounter card, which is discovered. Change to assault suit form. If there are no threat on your suit form upgrade, this card gains surge. Otherwise, choose to either take 1 damage for each threat on your suit form upgrade, or remove each so this card gains surge. So we surge into an assault. The villain attacks me. I do need to take an extra damage from this here. I think don't have a way to prevent it. So he's going to attack for 1. I'll defend for 2. So 1, 2, 3. So I would take 1 damage. This does have a boost ability, which we're going to go ahead and just let happen because there are no aim minions in the victory display. So he comes at me for 1, 2, 3. I defended for 2, so I take 1 damage. I take 2 damage because of that. Do need to remember that, so that means I need to flip down when I get the chance. Okay. I think the best thing to do here, Quake. Spray Fire is going to pay for covert surveillance. I get to remove 2 threat from a scheme, and I get to change to stealth suit form. And Field Agent is going to pay for covert surveillance, which will remove 2 threat from a scheme and put them both on my suit form upgrade. Fury's Watch is going to generate 2 mental resources to pay for Quake. I'm going to flip down. Quake is actually going to chill. The Psionic and Human will thwart 1, take a consequential, and remove a lock counter. Okay. That means we'll probably get another thing. He has 2 more tough status cards on him, so it's going to take a little bit to get rid of him. All right. So we're not in an ideal situation. We're going to ready and draw up to 6. Threat's going to go up by 1. M.O.D.O.K is going to scheme for 3. Just 3. Orion schemes for 2. Adaptoid schemes for 2. Putting that at 8. Bringing another upgrade into play. Each Adaptoid gains Villainous and the Psionic trait. So now he's going to be flipping cards. We need to get rid of him. When a minion schemes, exhaust Quake and deal 2 damage. So we'll exhaust Quake for the Adaptoid and give him 2 damage now. Do need a ready there. Quake is exhausted. Then we get an encounter card, which is a Leviathan Soldier who comes in with toughness. Okay. Now I'm going to heal for 4, bringing me up to 5. Really makes me wish I still had my thing in play. Prism Dust is going to do 2 damage and confuse him, though. So his toughness comes off and he is confused. Okay. That's good. Why is there no threat? Oh, because it cleared off. So I don't get to remove that there because of that. Let me see. There's no threat, so I don't need breaking and entering. Under surveillance would be nice, but it's not a big deal. And then I can use these 3 to pay for Maria, and I could get... So we're going to go ahead and use these 3 as resources to pay for Maria. Forget, there's no threat on the scheme. Maria will go ahead and do... Well, Strong and Human will do 3 damage here, defeating the Adaptoid. When defeated, remove one all-purpose counter from an environment. We'll go ahead and do this one. Now we get the flying inhuman. Okay. After this ally thwarts, remove one threat from another scheme. Nice. So if there's a lot of schemes in play, that's good. She gets a consequential. This comes in with 2 lock counters. Okay. Then what can we do? M.O.D.O.K is at 14 hit points. Maria is going to attack Leviathan for 1. Flying Inhuman will do 1 damage as well. And Psionic Human will do another damage. All right. I've healed. Jeez. I'll flip up. We do have ways to defend. I'm going to use these as 2 energy resources to heal 1 from Maria. Then we'll ready. I'm in stealth suit form. And I get to draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Concentrated fire is going to be good here. All right, threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K schemes for 3, 4, 5, 6. He just schemes for 5, and I take 1. Flying Inhuman doesn't scheme. Leviathan is confused. Orion schemes for 2. So it does put it at 8. But Quake will deal 2 damage to him. This does pop, which means we get the final thing here. I guess we just lose by losing health. So as long as we keep Adaptoids down, we should hopefully be okay. Okay, so then we get an encounter card, which is a Psionic Enhancement. Comes in with 3 threat, +1, and it's a boost icon. Okay. Dang, the threat keeps getting cleared. That's okay. The Psionic Inhuman will remove a threat here, which removes a lock counter. He takes a consequential. Maria Hill will thwart for 2, putting both of those on my suit form upgrade, taking a consequential and leaving 1 here. Okay. Should have put Field Agent into play before that, but that's okay. Flying Inhuman will do a damage here to Orion to remove a tough status card. Taking a consequential. Yeah, I could potentially defeat him with 1 go. So I need to make sure I spend the right resources. Okay. Strong Inhuman will attack for 3 to remove the final tough status card from there. And she takes a consequential. Then Nick Fury is going to use a Field Agent and Intelligence to pay for Concentrated Fire. So I switch into Assault Suit form. I'm going to use 2 threat to buff up the damage to 6. So that does all the damage that he needs. So 6 damage to defeat him. And then if I defeat him, I can add his threat to my suit form upgrade, or I can flip up to stealth suit form. I'll go ahead and do that. So add it there. Then I can spray fire or yeah. Yeah. So we're going to use Fury's Watch to generate 2 mental resources. Oops. And Nick Fury Sr. to spray fire. Choose a player. Deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with them. So we do 3 damage here to Leviathan Soldier. 3 damage to M.O.D.O.K. I do have ranged, so it just goes down to 11. All right. So much going on here. So much going on here. I'm going to thwart for 3, removing this scheme from play. I'm in assault suit form with 5 health, so we do need to be careful. So, that's where it is. Then if there are no set-aside adaptoid environments, the players lose the game. So we need to make sure he doesn't scheme again, basically. Okay. Let's go ahead and ready still. Ready and attack him, but I take retaliate 2 or and if I do that, then I'm at 3. I could just have Maria or Quake defend. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'll flip up 3, 4, 5. So threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K will attack for 1. Quake will defend 2, 3. Quake gets defeated. We get an encounter card, which is an Adaptoid. The Adaptoid has now toughness and attacks for 3, schemes for 2. He does not have guard, which is good. So what I can do here. Oh, but then if he schemes, no, I don't have 2 energy resources. Okay, if I had a way to draw a card, that'd be great, but I don't. This generates 2 mental. I have to spend a wild resource. That's a very specific resource. Only I could heal that psychic, that psionic inhuman. But he was 2 mentals. I think this may be an interesting strategy. So I will fort for 1. So that removes that and this. This person comes into play. Sarah Garza. Psionic Inhuman leaves play and comes in with 2 locks. Sarah's attacks gain overkill and range. That's really good. Okay. Then Fury's Watch is going to generate 2 mental resources to do that. And then Agent Coulson and Intelligence Analysis will be 2 mental resources to do that, which brings the Psionic Inhuman back into play. Now all we have to do is defeat M.O.D.O.K. So when M.O.D.O.K would be defeated if it holding cells in play, remove 2 lock counters from it and reset M.O.D.O.K's hit points to 14. Otherwise, the player wins the game. We just need to do 11 damage to him. That's it. 11 damage. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And I don't have a ready. I do have to be careful because if the flying inhuman attacks, they'll be put back over here. So it may be worth getting the Adaptoid out. We'll use the Psionic Inhuman to remove the tough. And then we can do the Strong Inhuman to deal 3 damage here, taking a consequential. Then the Flying Inhuman and Maria will each do the other 2 damage there. They each get a consequential. The Adaptoid is gone. Sarah Garza has ranged, so she'll do 2 damage to M.O.D.O.K. And then I'll use Breaking and Entering to pay for Prism Dust. And I don't have a shield thing except for Nick Fury, so I'm going to use Global Logistics to exhaust shield, to exhaust Nick Fury, and look at the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. It's alive. Each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for an Adaptoid minion and reveals it. Deal each player who did not. So this could be the boost. I don't want to see that. Sonic Blast. Take X in direct damage, which X is equal to M.O.D.O.K's scheme. Confuse each character who takes damage this way. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the Adaptoid minion. So with Global Logistics, I can discard any number of them and put the others on top. So I could do this for target acquired. So that would be the top card. I don't want It's Alive. I don't want Sonic Blast. I don't really want the Adaptoid. So we'll put these 3 on the bottom because we can cancel the boost of the aim interference. All right. We will ready. Sarah Garza does have 1 damage on her. Which of course I dropped in my lap and it is gone forever. There we go. Ready all these up. Draw my hand size of 5. Not the right cards. That's okay. We'll just whittle it down with Sarah Garza. Otherwise, we can try and do as much damage as possible with the assault suit. Threat goes up by 1. M.O.D.O.K attacks for 1 plus a boost. I will go ahead and take it because it's going to be 2. And then we're going to use target acquired. After a boost card is turned face up, discard target acquired, cancel that card's boost ability. So he's only going to do 2 damage to me. So I go down to 3. Then we get an encounter card, which happens to be a Leviathan Soldier. Comes in with the tough status card, which immediately falls off because of Prism Dust. And he gets confused. All right. So first thing, I'm going to use Super Spies to put 3 threat on my assault suit. Means now I can attack M.O.D.O.K for 5. Maria can attack for 1. Don't have a good way to do this. I shouldn't have done the Super Spies, I guess. Maria can attack for 1, so that takes her down to 6, which leaves me still with not enough damage. The Psionic Inhuman can attack. That'll work. Oh, and the Strong Inhuman can attack. Okay. What else can we do? So 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 11 there. Can I remove Leviathan Soldier? I don't believe so. Okay. I will attack M.O.D.O.K for 2, 3, 4, 5. That does 5 damage to him, taking him down to 4. I take 2 retaliates. I'm going to use 2 energies to heal me 1 from the Chief Medical Officer. And then 2 mentals to do this to remove a threat from the scheme. Then Sarah Garza will attack for 2, not taking any. She'll take a consequential, but she won't take retaliate damage. And that puts him down at 2. We can do 1, 2, 3 to the Leviathan soldier. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just have the strong and human swing and take 3, but she does 3, and that defeats M.O.D.O.K. A lot of things happened. That got a little intense. I definitely thought I was going to lose, but then staying in assault suit form was really good for M.O.D.O.K. Mostly because M.O.D.O.K is really weak, just as the 1. And then also being able to get all these allies out and depend on them. I think really the psionic and human was really cool with that. All right, let's see what we do for victory. Oh, okay, that's the truck. There we go. Victory. Mark each adaptoid environment in play in the campaign log. That's 4. Which probably means something bad for the rest of the campaign. So that's in play, that's in play, that's in play, and that's in play. All right, and then record the number of secret counters on each board member. So 0 on the medical officer, 2 on the tactical, and 1 on surveillance. And then if at least one board member environment in play has no secret counters on it, gain the top evidence card in the shield envelope and cross out each combination of means, motive, and opportunity. All right, so we got travel. Okay. And then we record our hit points, which is 2. And so then travel gets scratched out. So I just have to remember looking at this, which ones get crossed out. So yes, 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 yes. Not crossed out. So it could be that one. That's crossed out. That's crossed out. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, this is not crossed out here. Yeah, so I can do all that later. But we have defeated M.O.D.O.K. And next is the Thunderbolts. We'll see you guys in the next video.